Welcome back now. For those of you with children, you'll know all about our next topic, potty training and how to get it right.
Yes, when should we potty train and what is the best approach? Well, joining us to explain it all is parenting coach Aoife Lee. Good morning to you, Aoife.
Good morning, Aoife.
So lots of parents out there this morning wondering when is the right time, first of all. So there are some obvious cues to look out for, aren't there?
There are, and believe it or not, it's both for the child and the parent.
Sure.
Because I suppose when you have more than one child, it can vary on when a child is ready.
Yeah.
And it makes a huge difference how quickly and how promptly training can occur and happen. And for the parent, it's about, are they ready to commit? Have they the time? The patience, the perseverance, and the consistency,
the willpower,
and the willpower, because it can,
and the disinfectant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
true.
you know what? It's every parent. It's one of those things every parent has to do.
Yeah.
And it can be a widely anticipated time. So preparation is key, and by all means, it's when the child is ready. It's not about. Often we go on our agenda, but it's really important
to follow their cues.
Yeah, because it's all about building your child's confidence. Because if there's so many accidents, they'll get in a tiz and it starts to get all negative. So
you need to put it off. So what are the physical signs in a child, first of all?
Well, a lot of children, even looking at mum and dad, older siblings, going to the toilet, and that they're actually interested in, and observing that. Some children dislike when they've soiled or when they've wet their nappy. They want to kind of whip it off straight away. If you're starting to see nappies that are dry in between nappy changes, that's a sign that there's more bladder control and they've more of an ability to hold on to their wee.
And the thing about it is that every child is different.
That's exactly
so
it.
One set of signals from one child would be different to the next child.
Yeah, and I think that's where, particularly if you've had a second child and you've had the first one and they're trained by two. Now, there's no panic there because usually it's kind of 3.5. Parents put themselves under pressure. Second time round, third time round, fourth time round. It's that expectation. But it's that expectation that, you know, you think, well, if it happened the first time, it's definitely going to happen this. And sometimes we can kind of get a bit of a, oh, God, it's actually not the same.
So
and that goes without saying in every parenting scenario.
But there's also that thing as well, not that it's an added pressure, but they need to be toilet trained before you put them into a play group.
Yes,
or
exactly.
Into a
So you're limited by that time deadline.
And depending on their age, they could be 7 months older going to play group in September than another child.
I think that can be quite tricky, and that's often where we're pigeonholed into have to get the child trained. So if that is the case, then we have to expect that it's not necessarily going to be done in 3 days. I mean, for my second child, we kind of had to attempt 3 different times, and she was quite I suppose one of the aspects is if they're able to kind of talk a lot, and if you find that they're very chatty, you'll assume they're well able, whereas physically they're not necessarily.
They're not ready yet.
Yeah, you just have to tune in.
So it's the behavioural signs as well. Can they pull their pants up and down themselves, things like that?
Yeah, absolutely, up and down. The likes of like I said earlier on, kind of taking an interest in what their
siblings are doing.
Their siblings are doing, yeah.
I like that one that you have at the end there. They demonstrate a desire for independence. Like if they're telling you, no, I'm okay, Mammy, I can do it. That means I'm ready. Just let me have a go.
Some kids love that, and others are happy out with Mammy and Daddy doing everything for them. So if you start to see a sign, encourage it. And another big element of this is really encouraging and praising them. And sometimes it's hopping up and down on the spot and telling everyone about it. And that's where you come into positive reinforcement.
Yeah, and that applies to everything that you're trying to teach a child.
Another thing I notice as well is that it's also the child that you're trying to train has been watching how you did it with their sibling. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's learned behaviour.
It is learned behaviour, and a lot of behaviours with our children are learned, and it's the environment they're in. But it's really important that we try and stay as calm and relaxed as possible. The more we fret over soiling and accidents, whatever you do, never
freak out, but sometimes
so
you've just cleaned up such and such, and your mother-in-law's coming in an hour, and the next thing you walk into the bathroom or the sitting room going, What in the name of divine is that?
Are you joking? And you know what? That's where, if you're planning on it, consider taking a few days off a week. It's kind of like an investment you do. To be fair to the child, they're kind of alien, like to these potties and apparatus that you're bringing into the house.
Yeah, can we talk about
that?
Sure. In terms of the steps, so you need to be prepared. The time needs to be right.
Yeah, you need to be in the zone.
In the zone, okay.
The likes of, you know, there's all kinds of stuff on the market, but really, when it boils down to it, you can have potties, there's all bells and whistles, they start singing when the child starts to pee. To be honest with you, I think it's all about, you know, the whole for the child, where they're at. The likes of potty, I'd always say, don't necessarily bring it in on day one, going, right, pants on, nappy off. Have it in the bathroom, have it in the house over the course of the first couple of weeks. If they're in the bath, you know they're ready to get into their nappy. Say, oh, you know, pop on the potty there and see what you think. Even if they're in their nappy, just allow them feel that sense and familiarise themselves with the sitting on. The likes of this is...
I found these great. Did you use these?
I don't recognise
They're like an insert. Now, this is probably a little harsh in that some of them are padded to make it a little bit more comfortable for our little ones.
That does look a little medieval, I have to say.
Yeah, I know. It's a bit hard on the bum.
What's the point?
But...
you just put it over the toilet.
Oh,
so you put it in the inside, so you put the lid over. Yeah, no, it's fairly straightforward. But it's just so that, because often children, if they're seeing older siblings, they're like not really interested in the potty and they want to go straight to the advanced toilet. Sometimes a tiny bum and a big toilet bowl can be quite frightening. So
you could lose
hanging over the cliffs of Moher, you know what I mean?
But you know what? That's why.
Going, what in the name of God? Where does that go?
No, but you know what it is, and I'm not being funny, but like kids stop pooing for fear of splash.
Absolutely.
So that's where...
So they could hold on to it.
Well, and that's where you have issues, and that's a whole other ball game, holding on to poo. But anyway.
Oh, well.
So it makes you feel like big brother or sister
and it's just
sitting
like,
on the big toilet.
Smaller children can be influenced by their brothers and sisters, and if they're older, it's the brothers and sisters that will kind of...
That's a great
That's just sit on, and that's creating a grounding. Because often when they're swinging their little feet, they're quick to get up. Whereas if they've a grounding and you've got distraction...
And it's just a hanging on thing. It's
hanging on, so don't be too... It's the same with don't be quick to try and get your little boy to stand up and pee. Wait until they're ready.
Oh, what a wonderful
Can I ask you very briefly before we go, the Cheerios?
Cheerios, I know. It's an unlikely prop, isn't it, for this segment?
I'm wondering where they come in.
Yeah, the likes of... this is where, if they're playing with the idea of standing up and peeing in the toilet, Cheerios can act as an aim that you have put in the toilet.
A target.
You will do anything, won't you?
Yeah,
really?
well, that's true,
The Cheerios, and as well as that, a frozen ice cube with food colouring, and when the wee goes in, it changes colour.
Or a €2 coin.
Oh, so they can aim at that.
Aim at that, and it just makes it a bit more fun and a little bit more interactive.
Makes your job a little bit easier.
Thank you very much for that advice.